Stand by.
Title, Have I Explained That Well Enough? There is a great question. There is a great question that I have learned, and initially while I was learning it, had to discipline myself to really ask, not the usual question, that I have found very helpful in explaining things to people, particularly in a training mode, particularly in a new blank piece of paper first conversation mode. And that question is this: have I explained that well enough for you? Now, the instinctual question I used to ask, which I think most of us slip into, is, do you understand that? Here's the subtle difference in that. When I say, have I explained that well enough for you, the burden is on me as the explainer, as the provider of information. When I say, do you understand that, then the person who's being inquisited feels like on the spot. And the answer to the second question is always, yeah, sure, please, you certainly have. Particularly for guys. Guys never want to admit they didn't really understand what you're talking about, because guys, we know, right? We're so confident in our ability to assume information. The more gracious question of, have I explained that well enough for you, opens up the possibility that the person answers more genuinely and doesn't just try to check a box in terms of the issue at hand. Then their response is going to be, well, no, you really didn't explain that well enough. I'm comfortable giving that response as a responder because it doesn't confess any weakness on my part. Great question to ask. And underlyingly sends questions that you're concerned about understanding. Just because I've lectured you doesn't mean you've absorbed what it is I've told you. The reason we're teaching someone, the reason we're informing them is so that they can get understanding, not so that we can check a box that we've told them, right? So ask that question. When it looks, the body language or the vibe, or even just generally, is, have I explained that well enough for you? I've just told you, you've just told them how cleanse works, or balance works, or how a certain part of the comp plan works. Pause for a moment, put the burden on yourself and say, have I explained that well enough for you? Would you like me to show it to you again, just in a slightly different way? Burden's on me, not on you as the listener. Great question, reframes the relationship and the communication with the burden on me as the teacher, not on you or them as the learner. So, have I explained that well enough for you?